time is it, Keith?
It is 9:45.
What time are you waiting for, Keith?
10 o'clock.
Why, Keith? Where are we, Keith?
We're in Harrogate. Dave wants to get in on it. We're in Harrogate.
Why? What's happening at 10 o'clock, Keith?
You wanted to come to a meeting.
Me?
You said about it.
Well, I thought you'd cry if we didn't come.
Did not. One of my collections is Observer books, and I joined a Facebook group, and they've got a meeting, a fair, Observer book fair. So I thought we'd come and see what there is, and what it's all about.
How many Observer books are there in a full set?
100. Well, there's 100 titles, but some of them are like aircraft have got several years of different editions.
But how many of the full set have you got?
All but 2.
So which 2 are you looking for today?
Oh, that'd be telling.
Who you got to tell us?
No.
They want to know.
Well, you'll find out if I find some.
But we're just waiting because it doesn't open till 10 o'clock.
They're just setting up, and we arrived, and they took one look at the van and said, "We have a book fair on today." I said, "Yes, we're coming to it." Are you? Oh, wonderful! So they found us a parking space.
Bit of shuffling.
Yes.
You two are going to stay and guard the van. Is that okay? Are you tired already now?
The Methodist Church car park in Harrogate. And it's the Observer's Pocket Series Collectors Society. Buy, sell, swap meetings countrywide.
If you join, you can get 4-quarter magazines.
Yeah.
Brighouse, Huddersfield, Middlesbrough, Nottingham, and Leeds, and Charlotte, what is it? And Bristol. So it might be a bit of a grey day today, but it's perfect for book fairs. And we've got a vast display of cakes and drinks there to keep you going while you buy lots of books. If you're not already a member, Richard here is the secretary and will sign you up immediately. If you do join today, you'll get some back numbers of the magazine down the road. So do have a good morning and have a safe journey home to wherever you come from. Thanks to Richard for
I've spotted something. What? Ladybird books. We started with coffee and cake. That's a good start.
Always a good start. So we're talking to
Chris Little.
and
I'm a member of the Observer Society and I'm one of the co-editors of this wonderful magazine that we produce every quarter. We're still recruiting new members. Some of the old ones have died away. But we've always had a good fair here in Harrogate. It's the 10th year in this location and it's probably about the 15th year in Yorkshire. And I also travel to Bristol and Kettering and anywhere else there's an Observer's book fair.
all right.
So anybody who wishes to join, still give us a call.
Can you get magazines if you're a member?
Yeah.
Yes, you get 4 magazines a year if you remember. And we're up to the 120th magazine next time, which marks 30 years of the magazine. And I've contributed to quite a lot of it over the time.
Very good.
So how long have you been collecting for then?
I've been collecting since 1992. So
New
it's
boy
quite a
then.
long time.
Yes.
What year were you?
I got my first one as a Sunday school prize back in 1960 something. So
Well, when I was a kid, I did the same thing. I had 5 books, and
Yeah.
I grew from there. and I've now got a collection of about 2,500.
Wow.
I've got.
You're missing two,
I'm
aren't
missing two for the full set.
Well,
So
we hope you might find them today.
we might. Lovely, thank you.
you? Thank you very much. Keith's in his element. Explain the numbering then.
Having got all 100 books, there are different editions, and aircraft are the really big one, and they go from 1940s, and then they went into a yearly edition after that, some of which are numbered on the dust jacket and some of which aren't. So I've been filling in the gaps.
So that's what you're purchasing now.
Well, we're going to see how much he wants for them, and then we need a bigger bookshelf.
Need a bigger house. We're back at the van. I'm not surprised. It's alarming what he's bought.
So these are the two we needed.
To complete the collection, the full set.
Yes.
So you've got Seashells of the British Isles and Kitchen Antiques. So they're the two we came for.
They're the two we came for. And I did fill a few gaps in the collection. I forgot I bought that one for £1. So I might have bought that one twice. No, I don't think I did.
So the oldest one you've got here is this one. And that's an original cover.
No, it's this one.
Oh, this one. Is this one an original cover?
No, that's got
That's a photocopied cover.
photocopied of the dust jacket. But that is 1945.
But
Well,
this is an original dust jacket.
That's a 1949. So you're talking 80, coming up 80 years, aren't you? 70, 80 years old books.
So that's most of the set of aircraft you've got. You've got a few still missing, haven't you? So
Yes, yeah.
that's what you're going to go for at the moment. Is it aircraft?
Yeah.
Sorry? You said what? You said no. You said no because we won't be able to afford your biscuits.
I did buy that one twice. So I'd found that for £1, and I'd forgotten it. But got two of those. Never mind.
Do you want to show them what I've started then? Because it's Ladybird books. Because we collected a few, but we've not really had any idea of what set to get. But
No.
quite like the idea of this one. So there were three there. The People at Work series.
And it's series 606B, I think. Don't know how they number the Ladybird book series 606B. So
But I thought People at Work, it'd be quite an interesting one because some of those the jobs now are very different from when these books were published. So we've got the shipbuilder,
shipbuilders, the fisherman, and the farmer.
That's the set we're going to collect of those, or I'm going to collect of those.
And these first published 1963.
The year before I was born.
1963, 1969. So they're, again, knocking on a bit, aren't they?
Are you saying I'm knocking on a bit?
You are.
Thank you for guarding the van. Nab says, can I have a biscuit as payment then? Please. I'm sure we'll find you one. Oh, look at that. It's almost a smiling face.
Right, what are we doing?
Harrogate. Fooled ya. We're starting with a coffee. Cheers.
Cheers. Well, we have been busy this morning, haven't we?
We have. We're in Harrogate. You'll have seen in a video probably a while ago, because we'll probably get it up quickly. Keith made a purchase of quite a
One
lot
or
of
two.
observer books.
But now it's after the filling the hole, well, supplementing the collection, it's coffee time.
So yes, we're in Harrogate. It's a very popular touristy place, Harrogate. And it was developed after the discovery of chalybeate and sulphur-rich spring water in the 16th century. Chalybeate, boys.
No
You're a
idea.
scientist.
No idea.
The first mineral spring in Harrogate was discovered in 1571 by William Slingsby, who found that water from the well possessed similar properties to that from springs in the Belgian town of Spa. So I presume that's where Spa town came from. So we'll have a wander around. There's little bits of history we've found out that we'll share with you. I've never been to Harrogate before, have you?
No.
It's a new one to us. But first, we'll enjoy this coffee.
We will.
And biscuity thingy, nibbly.
Cheers.
Wanting to get it right, we thought we'd better check what chalybeate was. Some of the
Chalybeate.
scientists didn't know.
Chalybeate waters are also known as ferruginous waters, so they contain salts of iron. Tunbridge Wells is a notable one, and others are in Australia, in England, where's the United Kingdom, Bermondsey Spa, Chalice Well in Glastonbury, Cheltenham, Ingleborough. Well, there's quite a few. And
So what is it then? Chalybeate is sulphurous, do you say?
no, iron.
Iron.
It has iron salts in.
This is just a whistle-stop tour of Harrogate. Wander around with a little bit of history. See what we did there. Oh, Keith's going to say, see what I did there. We did stop and ask someone where a nice coffee shop was, and they said there's a plethora of them. So we might have to try a couple at least while we're here. People often ask us how we can just talk to people.
We could stop people and say, "Excuse me."
It always confuses us as to how people don't.
It's obvious.
Over the road there is a world famous tea rooms, Betty's, but you often have to queue to get in there. They do very nice teas and cream teas and all that kind of thing, but apparently also very expensive. So we won't be going in there.
And there's a queue outside now. I have to admit, it's quite a nice town centre at the
pretty,
moment.
isn't it?
Very.
Should I say stunning?
Mm.
Surveys done in 2013, 2014 and 2015. Harrogate came out tops as the happiest place to live in the UK.
Well, there's lots of green space in the town centre, isn't there?
Where we parked.
Where
It's
we
a
parked.
massive
Common.
common, isn't it?
So that's Betty's. There's a queue, so we won't be going in, I don't think.
You live abroad, do you have those kind of crossings? And what do you call them? Over here, they're called pelican crossings. Oh, looks very nice.
It does. A lot of arcadey type decoration.
Yeah, it's like
1898.
It's almost church-like when you look up. A lot of bars and eateries, coffee shops.
Certainly down this bit, aren't there?
Yeah. There's a Wetherspoons.
Wetherspoons. We've missed breakfast.
Yeah. But it's always nice when a Wetherspoons. It's always nice because they usually pick buildings that have got a bit of history. This says... This was the Winter Garden, largely inspired by the design of the Crystal Palace. The Winter Garden was built in 1897 for the Royal Bath Development. Largely demolished in 1938, but the original entrance and staircase were preserved. In December 1900, Winston Churchill spoke here during... In December 1900, Winston Churchill...
Try again.
In December 1900, Winston Churchill spoke here about his experience as a prisoner during the Boer War. Got there in the end. As I say, that's what I like about Wetherspoons. They always take on buildings that have got some kind of history about them.
Yeah.
And they do like to preserve some of the history.
They do. And it's usually either photographs or lots of information inside, aren't there?
Yeah. And for the price, the food's not that bad. Here's the Turkish baths.
Ooh. Guess we're not here for longer.
I think we can go in. You like a sauna, don't you?
I do.
I can't stand saunas. I feel so trapped. I can't breathe. New building over there, a newish building. But it's nice how the frontage, they've tried to keep some of the old style, isn't it?
Yes.
We've just been into tourist information. Always a good mine and wealth of information when you don't know an area. So, as we often do, we earwigged, listened in on a conversation. Now we know where to go and taste the water, which we're going to taste.
Although he did say it does contain some arsenic.
But as he said, it's
So-
recommended not to taste it, to drink it. But people come in here for hundreds of years to take the water. And it was only when, I'm going to swear here, EU legislation came through that it was stopped. Not actually banned, but... So we'll go and find that, but have a look at this as well while we're here. Information about Harrogate's spa history. It's saying in the early 14th century, Harrogate consisted of just a few cottages located within the Royal Forest of Knaresborough. And this sculpture is called Cupid and Psyche. And it was purchased by a syndicate of Harrogate businessmen and placed in the gardens of the Spa Room estate. And when the gardens closed in 1958 for the development of the exhibition halls, the sculpture was put into storage. But in 1989 it was rediscovered, restored and put on display in this pavilion.
Needs a dust.
Another lovely building or to a building, but another sad sign of the times. As Keith said to me a minute ago, it's almost like a complete wardrobe there, isn't it? Someone's belongings.
Shame.
Here's the Royal Pump. Why can I not speak? Here's the Royal Pump Room Museum.
And we've got to find a button, and I think that might be the button there. We need to cross over. As Daryl's just said, it smells, or he did say it stinks, but what do you expect?
It's sulphur.
It does say, do not drink, and we have to press the button and wait.
He said for about 30 seconds, didn't he?
It builds up pressure.
There it is.
That's not nice.
You were earwigging, weren't
Yes.
you? In the
And the
tourist information.
yeah. And Farrers is local. They make
Sweet
fudge
makers?
and sweet makers. They make toffee, which is a bit like butterscotch toffee, but it was used, or they made it because people drank this water, and it is not nice.
People used to come from all over the country to drink this water and take it.
Yeah, but then Farrers made these sweets, this toffee, just to take the taste away. So I don't know whether it's better having the sugar intake of the toffee or what, but that not nice.
No. But you've got to try these things.
You have.
There's some information here, which it's going to make me burp, and I don't burp easily.
Or throw up, one of the two.
The Royal Pump Room. Dr. Edmund Dean first drew the attention of the world to the strongest sulphur spring in Great Britain when he published his Spadacrine Anglica in 1626. This Royal Pump Room was built in 1841 to 1842 as the first act of the Harrogate Improvement Commissioners to a design by Isaac Thomas Shutt of the Swan Hotel at a cost of £2,249 and 7p. Betty Lupton, the Queen of the Wells, dispensed the waters for decades until her death in 1843 at the age of 83. So it did her no harm, because I'm sure she drank it as well. Public right of access to the spring is recognised by the Stray Award of 1778 and the Harrogate Act of 1841, which required the provision of an exterior public pump. The annex was designed by Leonard Clark and opened in 1913 by the Lord Mayor of London. The Harrogate Museum was established here in 1953. And the historic sulphur spring still being open for use, although it does say, do not drink. Which I'm not surprised. I can still smell it. I don't know whether I can smell my breath wafting up.
Yeah, I can't. I don't know whether it's just because we're just round the corner from the well itself.
If you'd like to enter a competition and you win, we'll send you a drop of this water. No, we won't. So a bit more information about the pump room. It was designed to hold. It was designed to hold 150 people. And we've just peeped in because there is a museum in there, but we're not going in. There's not a lot to look at when we look through the door. But Charles Dickens visited. Hold on a minute, let's have a look at this first before I tell you that. The Crown Hotel. In the hour of peril, people of Harrogate earned the gratitude of the British nation, sustaining the valour of the Royal Air Force and fortifying the cause of freedom by the gift of Spitfire aircraft.
So they must have raised money Because they did raise money in town,
They
didn't
did, didn't they? Didn't they?
For the war effort.
They sold scrap metal and stuff to raise money, didn't they?
Yes.
A lot of towns. And...
Yeah, Warrington was the railings round Bank Park.
Around the Golden Gate.
Yeah, it's only the Golden Gate that's left.
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah.
But, yeah.
So anyway, yeah, Charles Dickens visited the pump house in 1858. And he signed the visitor's book. But he had a strange comment in there. He wrote, "Harrogate is the queerest place, with the strangest people in it, leading the oddest lives of dancing, newspaper reading, and dining." This is the Crown Hotel. It's saying it's probably the oldest of the great Low Harrogate, because there's a High Harrogate and Low Harrogate. It's the oldest building in Low Harrogate, existing long before Joseph Thackeray became the owner in 1740. And some more information about the owner here. Rather than you having to pause the video, have a look at the building. And so it was an important hotel. And Joseph Thackeray's great nephew, also named Joseph, became the owner in 1835. But the great nephew achieved notoriety after sinking his own well close to the old sulphur well, which is only just round that corner. But following a hearing at York Assizes in 1837, agreed to give up the well to public use. Lord Byron stayed here in the autumn of 1806, and in addition to writing the Ode to a Beautiful Quaker, he was much distressed that his favourite dog had to be shot after attacking a horse. In 1939, at the outbreak of World War II, the Crown was
Requisition.
I reckon it's that sulphur that's doing it. Requisitioned by the Air Ministry, who remained until 1959, when it reverted to being a hotel. There are some lovely buildings, aren't there?
There are. They're big. The whole place is spacious.
It is, yeah. The roads are wide, aren't they?
But the modern shops and things haven't sort of encroached. Modern life hasn't encroached.
No.
Lots of green spaces, like we said before, and
well maintained as well.
Yeah.
We've got more to tell you about Harrogate, but I think before then, it's time for a coffee.
So after this coffee, we're going to head over to Parliament Street and tell you about Samson Fox and gaslighting.
While we're sat here drinking our coffee, we were just talking about the sulphur water again.
I have no idea how they convinced people that that was healthy.
It was disgusting, wasn't it?
It was stronger than I thought it was going to be fair, but it wasn't very pleasant at all.
I've actually just said to Keith, you might as well just drink a wet fart, to be honest.
It was
that
horrible. But yeah, somebody's back in the day, made a lot of money out of selling it.
And that's before they had marketing executives.
Yes. Yeah. But how they got that as a go-to place, I have no idea.
Lovely cobbled streets. Designer shops as well. A lot of art galleries.
We were on this street earlier, and it's Parliament Street. We were talking about how old-fashioned some of the frontages are with the decoration and the things. A bit like Southport, really, isn't it?
It is. It reminds me of Southport in a lot of ways.
But anyway, we're on Parliament Street.
I wasn't going to do it with my glasses. Samson Fox. In 1870, engineering inventor Samson Fox perfected the process of creating water gas in the basement of his house, which was called Grove House. And we're going to go to that in a little while. That's got quite a story about it as well. He constructed a trial plant at his house and made it the first house in Yorkshire to have gas lighting and gas heating. He then went on to build a town-sized plant to supply Harrogate, and Parliament Street became the world's first route to be lit by water gas. So this street has a world first. Newspapers of the time commented, "Samson Fox has captured sunlight for Harrogate." So yeah, we're on a world first.
We are.
And we're back at the Turkish baths, which we saw earlier, which we didn't go in. I'm not sure whether you can or not. Doors are open. We're going to go to Samson Fox's house later on. Samson Fox, I am reading this. As you know, I like to read things because I can't remember things because of my age. His grandson Robin Fox was the head of the Fox acting dynasty, making Samson Fox the great-grandfather of Edward James and Robert Fox, and the great-great-grandfather of actors Amelia, Freddie, Lawrence, Lydia and Jack. Now, all established actors in their own right and have been in a lot of major TV programmes and movies. One more thing about Samson Fox. The building of the Royal College of Music in London was largely funded by him. So it's quite an, what do they call, what's that word? Yeah,
Philanthropic.
That's the one. Probably better you said it anyway.
Philanthropist.
Philanthropist. Try saying that a few times.
After a few coffees. Yes, I mean, we seem to be walking round in circles. It's not a massive town.
It isn't massive, no.
But lots and lots of
to see.
history.
Yeah. So, I think I've seen a dead ostrich.
Yes.
You'll probably not see it clearly, but up on that window it just looks like the bum of an ostrich sticking out. We can go in the Turkish baths, but we just found a picture of it. It does look very nice.
Very relaxing.
So does that get hot then? Steaming?
No, you have different rooms. So you have dry rooms, hot rooms, steam rooms, even hotter rooms. Yeah. I wonder what that was. It's a Bools thing, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah.
There's another one over there.
Yeah.
There are various things to do with cycling around here. This stained glass. This was donated by the artist to celebrate the town hosting the Yorkshire Grand Depart of the Tour de France in July 2014. Do like stained glass. We'll tell you about this in a minute. But this is Grove House. It's probably about the best view we're going to get of it, to be honest, because it's a care facility now.
Some cannons on the entrances.
An interesting statue over there as well. Yeah. So this is where Fox constructed his trial plant for gaslighting. And the first house to have gas lighting and gas heating. It's quite a history, this building, so I wanted to bring you here. As well as being the place of his discovery. It's quite an old building. It's been an inn, a schoolhouse, and an orphanage in its past.
Not an outhouse.
No, an orphanage. And from 1926 to 2017, it was the home of the Royal, I'm going to struggle with this one, the Royal Antediluvian Order of Buffaloes. The order, known as Buffs, is one of the largest fraternal movements in the UK. It started in 1822 and has since spread throughout the former British Empire. They have simple rules. They require that a prospective member be a true and loyal supporter of the constitution of the country that they live in and operate. The membership has lodges, and in them there's a small amount of ritual and ceremony, so a little bit like the Masons.
Yeah. And while we've got a fire engine just coming out the fire station, there's another link to
Samson Fox.
Samson Fox.
He donated the town's first fire engine, so he was quite a
Philanthropist.
That's the one. So they got the Buffalo logos all over the place, and the Buffaloes are still going. So I say the membership has lodges, and in them is a small amount of ritual and ceremony. Officers wear ornate chain collars and jewels, and the Buffalo Order has 3 tiers: minor, which are private lodges; provincial grand, which are lodges, and then a grand lodge.
Again, very similar to Masons.
I suppose. And they are quite charitable as well. The key words of the Buffs are justice, truth, and philanthropy. I said it at the time.
Yes.
And their principal aims are friendship, charitable works, social activity, mutual support, and care.
Very similar to
Very, very similar.
Masons.
I think we've said before that your dad was a Mason, wasn't he?
Yes.
And when Keith's dad died, they were very good at making sure that Keith's mum was cared for when she needed things. I'm sure we've said before that when it got to the stage where she needed a stair lift, not a chair lift, you're not going up that high. When she needed a stair lift, they were very quick to purchase one
And get it installed.
very, very quickly, weren't they? So this is Grove House. And one other little thing about Samson Fox, he was elected Mayor of Harrogate for 3 consecutive years, which was a first.
We can't really go in, unfortunately.
It's quite a drive. It's quite a house, isn't it?
It is. Yeah.
And next, we're going to take you somewhere expensive. Not for lunch. So we said we'd take you somewhere expensive, and this is it. A very expensive street or lane. It's the most expensive street in Yorkshire. The average house price of £1.7 million. So if you've got a few quid and you fancy a new house, maybe this is a place for you. With that said, we're having a cheap lunch and we'll tell you about some Viking treasure. It's getting a bit later in the afternoon now, so we're having another cup of tea.
Tea this time?
Yeah, tea. I've got a parking pig.
I've got slice fruit. I don't know, fly cake.
So another interesting fact about Harrogate. In 1893, Dr. George Oliver from Harrogate was the first to observe the effect of adrenaline in the circulation. Did you know that?
No.
Should I have eaten the head first or should it be the tail? So, the treasure. In 2007, two metal detectorists found the Harrogate hoard, a 10th century Viking treasure hoard. It contained about 700 coins and other items from as far away as Russia, Ireland, Scandinavia, and
Well,
continental Europe,
If it was Viking, you'd expect Scandinavia.
but also Afghanistan, Uzbekistan, and North Africa.
You wouldn't expect that.
No. As well as coins, there were silver and gold
Ornaments.
no.
Silver and gold.
As well as coins, there were silver and gold arm rings, neck rings, and brooch fragments, ingots, and precious metal. And the items were hidden. You don't know any of this.
I don't know any of
this. The items were hidden in a gilt silver vessel lined with gold. The vessel's decorated with vine leaves and 6 running animals, 2 lions and 4 birds of prey. It's thought possibly that the vessel is an ecclesiastical cup from northern France, either plundered or given as a tribute to the Vikings. The coins in the hoard bear Islamic, Christian and pre-Christian Norse pagan symbols. And they might just about be able to afford a house. Or maybe not. No, in fact they wouldn't.
No.
Because the hoard was valued at £1,082,000. And it was jointly purchased by York Museum Trust and the British Museum. So, the Vikings, Winston Churchill,
Samson
Fox.
Samson Fox.
And Charles Dickens.
All in one.
All in one video. With that, I'm having my parking pig
Cheers.
and my cup of tea, and you're having your fly cake and
I
cup of
am.
tea. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye. Not a bit.
No.
Nice.